we doing today? We're back onto the Isle of Wight. We've still got quite a few Isle of Wight ones that we've still to go through, and we did a dark one not that long ago. I think it was one of the Welsh series. I think it was Brains Dark we did. So we're going to be doing another dark one, and we're going to be doing one from Yates Brewery, and it's the dark side of the Wight. So that's a bit of a different one. It's an interesting name actually, not a bad name actually, the dark side of the Wight. And it's from Yates Brewery. It's 5% ABV, it's brewed in Isle of Wight, got a textured label, and what does it say in the back? It's ingredients: floor malted barley, wheat, North Down and Columbus hops, yeast and Isle of Wight water. Its style is a stout, is a surprise. It's a very dark ruby, full-bodied strong ale hopped with Northern Down and Cascade hops. Easy to drink with a smooth malt, milk, chocolatey, creamy, unique aftertaste. There we go. And apparently the food pairing is, because apparently that's important, it's good with chuck steak casserole with dumplings or rich chocolate puddings. Why is it drinking bloody stout with chocolate puddings? That's the second one that's come out with that. I'm obsessed. I never ever sit there and eat a chocolate pudding thinking, no, this really needs a good glass of stout. And I've never actually drunk a glass of stout thinking, oh, I could do a chocolate pudding right now. But it's very specific. Chuck steak casserole with dumplings. It's a very strange kind of food pairing. It seems to kind of, how would I'm smelling dumplings here because it's a load of shit. It really is. But anyway, did I show it to the camera? Yes, there we go. Right. So what I'll do is let's pour it. Price wise, again, it's actually over £2. I think it's about £2.30 odd for this, I think, roughly. So let's see how it pours. Now apparently it's supposed to be kind of rubyish, so not a true dark stout, and it seems to be quite well carbonated because you can really hear it kicking off with the carbonation. So it's kind of rubbish. Oh, the smells there. What we got? I'm getting hoppy smells. Getting a bit of malt, but I'm getting almost kind of Coke flavours. You know, kind of aromatics. Yeah, there's a bit of floralness to there. There's kind of floralness, ever so slight, kind of Coke or Sprite, kind of soft drinky kind of smells. In other words, it's sweet and syrupy. It's the kind of smells I'm getting. I'm not saying it's going to taste like that, but that's what I'm getting. Getting very like kind of syrupy, soft drink syrup kind of smells. You know, if you ever had a soda stream and used to sniff the syrup bottles, and when I was a kid, I used to sniff lots of things when I was a kid, but anyway, that's another story. But yeah, when they used to make the soda stream, my dad used to make the soda stream, and I used to sniff the syrup bottles and trying to kind of see, well, does it smell like any of the kind of soft drinks that I know and things like this. Never did. The syrup was shit. Anyway, I'm getting that kind of smell. Anyway, let's see what it's like. It's got a bit dead kind of quick. All right. Right. Oh dear. Oh matron. Oh dear. Right. It's a bit different. Right. Let's home in this a bit more. It's a strange flavour. I'll give it that. Jesus God. I'm not saying it's a bad flavour, it's just an unusual flavour, and it's a difficult one to kind of describe. I'm trying to kind of, maybe I'm kind of, how would you say, playing for time as they say, but yes, 5%. Right, to start with, we're getting malt. Getting malt and a bit of sweetness. Not overly sweet, but there is a sweetness there, so we're getting malt and sweetness. Then it breaks into, it's kind of hard to kind of describe what it breaks into after that. The mid-tongue seems to be the colour, as they say, right? So it goes from the kind of malty sweetness, which is fine, it's kind of normal, but when it moves into the middle of the tongue, you're getting a now you might think I'm mad here, but it's like cheap supermarket cola flavour with bitter chocolate through it, you know, really dark chocolate, high cocoa solid chocolate, so that you get the bitterness of the chocolate, but you're getting this kind of light, kind of strange kind of accent flavour that's there, and it's like cheap Coke, or maybe like the kind of soda stream kind of Coke syrup. So it's like a kind of a soft drink syrup there that's providing, and it's there is a kind of, there is a sweetness there, but you're obviously getting a lot more of the bitterness. And then it moves on to the kind of aftertaste, the kind of strange kind of Coke or soft drink syrup kind of starts to dissipate, and the chocolate bitterness starts to kind of dissipate, but it's like the kind of, the sweet syrup kind of drops off like that, and then it's dropping off, the chocolate kind of bitterness is dropping off at a slightly slower rate, so you're left more with a kind of slightly bitterish aftertaste rather than a sweet aftertaste. And better way to describe it almost is like, imagine Turkish Delight, you used to get the fries, Turkish Delight, but imagine that made with really, really dry, bitter chocolate. That's probably the better way to describe it. So the mid taste is like kind of slightly kind of Turkish Delight flavourings, you know, the sweetness and the slightly kind of floralness of the kind of the Turkish Delight part of it, but it's being counteracted by really dark, bitter chocolate kind of flavourings, and that's what you're getting. So that's a good way to describe. I think that's a better way of describing it. It's like imagine fries, Turkish Delight, or any type of Turkish Delight with, you know, with like floralness and rose water, that type of flavourings, and the sweetness. Obviously not as sweet as chocolate as Turkish Delight, but yes, and of course you're getting a really bitter dark chocolate to go with it, and there is a kind of balance to it, but it's just an unusual kind of flavour pairing, and how it just kind of tails off was like, it's unusual. It's not a bad flavour pairing, it's just quite unusual. And I think because of that, I wouldn't say it's sessionable because the flavours are actually quite strong. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's a sessionable one. I think it's a non-sessionable beer. I think it's more one to kind of be sipped and enjoyed. And yeah, and I think it's one of these beers. I think lots of people probably describe it in lots of different ways, but I think that's the best way I can describe it. I think it's a really quite a good way of describing it, better than probably the Coke and the soft drink thing, but I think probably looking more from a Turkish Delight point of view is far better. What would I give it? What would I give it out of 10? It is a strange beer. I'm not saying it's a bad beer. I'm just saying some of the flavour profiles are quite unusual, to the point it makes it, I honestly really don't know whether I like it or I don't like it. I like it in some ways, but in other ways I just find it strange. So, what would I give it out of 10? I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's above average. It is a nice beer and some nice beer points, but just some of the flavour profiles just are a bit strange. So yes, I would probably say, yeah, 6 out of 10. It's 5%. It's the Dark Side of the Wight by Yates Brewery. My view is try it for yourself and see what flavours you pick up on it. But it is a bit unusual, especially as a stout flavour and kind of profile. It is quite unusual. So my view is, if you do get a chance, give it a go and see what you think. But for me, yeah, 6 out of 10. Would I buy it again? I honestly really don't know. I haven't made up my mind. And I think that's the situation. Is there's some parts that you would say yes, and other parts I would say, well, I don't really know. So yeah, that's the best I can give you with this one. It's a strange one. My big recommendation is try for yourself and see what you think. So, thanks for watching. Cheers, and bye for now.